You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Del Coro.
What is up, my paranormal people? Happy Monday. I'm Eric Vanderlaan, your host of the War Party Paranormal Radio Show and team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And right over here, I got...
What's up, guys? My name is Mike Del Coro. I'm a tech specialist and case manager investigator with War Party Paranormal and your co-host. And we got a great show for you guys tonight. And I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
Yep, we got a really cool guest. We have Courtney Eastman, the Ghoul guide. Like whenever I look at her Instagram, she's like everywhere. For a second, I thought she was at like Waverly. Like she's probably been there like 20 times. But she only said only six. So that's still a lot. So yeah, we brought her on the show. She's been to all like major places that are haunted on the East Coast. So we're going to talk to her tonight. And before we bring her on, we are going to run a little intro that I made for her.
Awesome.
And here we go. I swear this girl's like hit every bucket on my bucket list. It's crazy.
Right? Hi, Mallory. I see Mallory in the chats.
Oh, hey, Mallory. All right. So let's not waste any time and bring Courtney on. Hey, Courtney.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. You've been everywhere. You get around, don't you?
Yeah, I feel like this is actually like my first weekend home in a good month. So I don't know if I'm gonna know what to do with myself this weekend.
Right.
Sometimes it's nice to have a little break though, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, especially after how fast like everything's been going by. Like just a week ago today, I was coming home from Pennsylvania, and 2 weeks ago I was coming home from Kentucky. So it has been nonstop, just living out of my car some weekends.
So you've been to a whole lot of places. Why don't you we got actually the chat's pretty hopping right now. Can you tell people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do? I know you have a blog.
Yeah, so I am a paranormal investigator, a haunted travel blogger, and your new best ghoul friend, all from Buffalo, New York. For about 3 years now, I've been jumping on as the ghoul guide and just jumping around to different locations. Mm-hmm. I've been as far west as Nevada and Illinois, Missouri area, and then I've been as far south as Kentucky. And east as Massachusetts. So I've kind of just been all over the Great Lakes regions. I'm in Ohio more often than I want to be.
Yeah. Come down to Florida.
I'm trying to. I'm definitely trying to hit up a lot of states and a lot of new places coming up within the next year or so. So, but yeah, I've been hitting some bucket list places. I have been featured in the Feminine Macabre Volume 1 and 3 for 2 different submissions.
Awesome.
And most recently, I have been featured in Haunted magazines for a creepy little tale on the world's first sanatorium, really, in
Oh,
like
very
one of the
cool.
most oddest of places. So it's definitely worth the read.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, guys. Check that out for sure. That sounds interesting. I wanted to go check that out as well. Um, so there's been something that I've been meaning to talk to you about because I'm looking at some of your things. I just got the privilege to go and check out Ledgeworth Village for my first time, and it was such an amazing experience. That place is the history behind it and everything. It's so wild and it's so creepy, and we captured so many great EVPs and activity there. And I just want to hear your your take on it and what you think about Ledgeworth Village.
Letchworth was really fun to explore. We got really lucky because we went in a like early November day, so it was actually super nice out.
Mhm.
It was like a break for us in between investigations at Mid Orange for the weekend. Um, I have a background in the special needs field.
Oh, okay.
I was a teacher aide for about like
Oh, very
7
cool.
years. I still work in the school today. And I grew up with it in my family. So like it's just been something that's very engraved in my life.
I'd
And
like to know how many
um
trips you do on summer break.
I actually don't get a summer break anymore. So I just schedule everything throughout the year. But going to Letchworth was really one of like the top places that I want to hit, especially like with the history that it carried
Yes.
throughout like its years. I'm a firm believer that everyone and every place has a story, even if the history was dark and tragic,
Mhm.
and it deserves to be told, especially in these stories. Because a lot of people who were in these places didn't have a voice, and they deserve to have the voice that they didn't have.
Mhm.
And so just going there and being in the space and going to appreciate it rather than trying to vandalize it and just add to the damage that's already been done throughout the years. It was a really cool experience. We only kind of like hung out around like one section because it's completely massive. You really
It
can't see it
is.
all in one day. But but yeah, it was just really an afternoon with friends, just exploring and going into the buildings that we shouldn't have been going into. But yeah, maybe when we go back this year, we'll get a little DR60 session going and see what happens.
So yeah, when I was looking through some of your photos, I saw that in the dorms, like it has a very unique like octagon style window in the ceiling, like a sunroof.
Hmm.
And I saw that and I was like, oh, that's Ledgeworth. That's awesome. Let's like so yeah, it was amazing. And I was just gonna say, like, one of the craziest things that we captured there, we're in the morgue. And I'm sure you've seen Geraldo Rivera's expose on
Hmm.
location. We captured an EVP of, I mean, it was literally kids screaming and yelling and chairs getting dragged across the floor and everything, and we played back.
Very freaky.
It was so wild. It was like residual, um and it sounded almost to the T of Geraldo's report when he was walking through, and you can hear the background sounds. It was
Oh,
so
I
wild.
believe it.
I
I
thought he
believe
took
it.
the audio and played it behind the scenes in the video. Like I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
It
that's
was
insane.
crazy.
Yeah,
That'd be really cool to hear. I'm not gonna
it
lie.
was really mind-blowing. So like that's why I was bringing that up, because especially of all the things, like, to capture that, it sounded almost identical, like super wild. That's actually on my YouTube channel from
Love that. I'll have to
that.
check that
Yeah.
out after this.
Hmm. Definitely. And I got to know you because I saw all those times you've been going to Waverly, and we went there about, like, Mike, what was it, like?
A couple
Was
years
it
ago, right?
couple of years already? Time flies by. But I was like trying to get some advice from you, like some tips on where to like focus on investigating. Um, but we got some pretty cool stuff. I mean, other than the bat incident, but what was like your most like memorable thing that happened to you there at Waverly?
Ooh, well, okay, so I'd say there's like something from each trip that we've done in the last 3 years.
Hmm.
So my very first year, we had like it sent me out with a bang, and I wasn't expecting this. Um, it was myself and four or three other people. We were down in the body chute pretty much no one really knew where we were. We had walkie-talkies just in case. But like the rest of the group went on the other side of the hospital. So it was just us 4 down there. And we were all hanging out like right before it like starts to pitch. Like I was on that like first set of stairs. And I couldn't stop looking over my right shoulder, which was like I was facing the door, the only entrance and exit into the place. And everyone else was doing stuff like down by the stairs or like taking pictures, doing whatever they wanted. And I just couldn't shake this feeling that something was going to happen. I was like, someone's going to run through and just make us run all the way down. Like we're going to get trapped. And I was like, it's just your anxiety. It's cool. But we decided to do an EVP session. So I put my recorder down. Someone stopped theirs, but then they said they heard a whisper come down. So we all got super quiet. I left my recorder on.
Okay, disembodied whisper?
Yeah. They heard it like come down from like the end of the tunnel. So we all went super quiet for about like what seemed to be like a minute. And as soon as my recorder flipped over to a minute, the only time I took my attention away from my right side, the door in the emergency exit door in the hallway leading into it just slammed.
Oh, really?
No one was around. We instantly jumped. Our screams were terrifying.
Oh, wow.
We were scared. We were scared shitless. And we ended up, me and another investigator, we ended up running down to try to see where it was. I thought it was the door leading into the hospital, but come to find out it was the emergency exit door, and the motion light outside was even on too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so nothing happened after that, but like that was a good way to like kind of like shake everything up.
Yeah.
The second year we
Something
went,
you would dream of.
yeah. Like Waverly was like, that was the first time I went, and I even like told myself that Waverly was haunted in my heart. Like it didn't have to prove itself to me. I was just happy to be there. So if anything happened, it was just the cherry on top of it all.
Was Mallory there with you?
No, but I've played that recording for Mallory multiple times, and you can hear us. You hear the door slam, and then you hear all of us scream and shriek. Someone goes, "What was that?" And you just hear someone go, "I don't know." So, but the second night we were there, I was standing on the 4th floor. We ended up splitting up in 2 groups. So one group went all the way down by the fire escapes, and we went down kind of by like heliotherapy, which is like right by that like first bend. And yeah, of course I did Mallory. So it was myself and 2 other investigators, and I felt what felt like a raindrop fall on my shoulder. So I instantly went to go like brush it off to like see if it felt any like wet or whatever. And nothing was there. So I was like, oh, that's weird. And we were starting to see things. I thought it was just my eyes playing tricks on me. And I went to go look down over to my left, and I was going to drag my gaze down across the floor and then look up the other way. And when I did that, I looked down to the door frame I was standing next to, and there was just a shadow figure crouching down right there.
Oh,
and
really?
I go, oh no. And I just like jumped across the hallway, and I was like, I don't like this. And then when we met up with the groups again, they were like, did you feel anything? Was anything weird? And I was like, I saw that shadow figure. And the person who was with me, they were like, oh, and you got touched. And they were like, did you really? We told them to tap you. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I guess I got touched then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it literally just felt like a raindrop. So I really thought nothing of it. Then I just brushed it aside, and yeah. But the third time we went, which was just like a couple of weeks ago, it was myself and my friend Dylan. We were there with Haunted Nights, so we were doing like the first Haunted Nights events at Waverly, which was really cool, and it was kind of like this big full circle moment for me, so that was really cool to celebrate. We ended up just walking the floors without any flashlights, and we were just walking around talking. He was looking out the solarium side, and I was over by the terminal, and we were kind of over by the fire escape side to the Batwing. And I really don't like it down there because it's just a little too dark. Like it just has this off feeling rather than the other side. And I remember looking into one of the rooms, and it just looked like a hospital gown. and like a set of legs real quick. And I did like a double take, like I can't, like that can't be happening, and like nothing was there. So I'm just like, oh no, like this is cool.
Well,
And
you
then
know,
we
the
had,
sex. Go ahead.
yeah, and then we had that scream at the end of the night too, which kind of freaked us out because
That's crazy.
we thought it was our tour guide who fell. And I looked at the two guys I was with. I'm like, you need to go help her immediately. And like they look a panic, and we all ran out into the hallway before you go into the, like the patient areas. And there she was, like holding like napkins or something, and she was like, what's going on, guys? And we're like, you didn't just scream, like, are you good? And she's like, no, like I didn't hear anything. Like all three of us heard like this person just screaming, and she let us stay a little bit longer while she cleaned up. So we didn't leave Waverly until like 6 o'clock in the morning because we were trying to figure out who did this. And we ended up walking floor by floor. And when we stopped on the 4th, we heard something fall and move up on the 5th, but there was nothing there. We went to go check. So
wow,
it's all my little like memorable experiences from that place.
You know, the craziest thing that Mike and I did is, and I think we're the only ones who've ever done this, is we went on the top of the body chute, like right where it starts going down, and we threw some cat balls down there and left them down there forever.
So last year we went the day after Easter, so that started our 3 days in a row there. And it was just 9 of us who had the place for like the first 2 nights, and we ended up doing a glow-in-the-dark Easter egg hunt the first night, since it was right after Easter.
That's
so
cool.
We got like the tour guides that night to hide about I want to say 107 eggs. They like hit them all while going on like TikTok live, and like we hung out in like the green room, like trying to get the teams together. And then we kind of broke it up by floors. The group of 3 guys annihilated us because we didn't think out the floor spacing that well. But I came in second. Well, my team came in second. But yeah, it was like one of the funnest things. We were still finding eggs throughout like the next like couple days we were there. But yeah.
But you know, I did capture. I heard a disembodied voice in the body chute, like someone breathing, and I thought it was Mike because I was like halfway at the time. But the plan was Mike was going to stay at the bottom, and I was going to stay on the top, and we're just going to sit there and be quiet and wait and see what happens. So I started halfway, and then I went up to the top. But when I was halfway, I was just sitting there on the ground, and I hear a breath by my ear, and I thought maybe it was like echoing from Mike, and it wasn't him, and I captured on the audio on my camera, so that was pretty cool. And then
we got a pretty wild EVP at the bottom of the chute as well.
Yeah, we did as well. And I also got I was on the 4th floor. Of course, I didn't capture it, but I heard a bell by this one room by the elevators, and I was like, "That's weird." So I talked to someone that worked there, and I was asking about the bell, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like the elevators, like the bell, like when it opens, goes off sometimes, and they don't work."
Oh,
so that was really weird.
Cool. I know my friends Mark and Deanna, they were actually featured on the Watcher Boys episode for Ghost Files. They caught humming when we left Mark just kind of like laying in the morgue trays, and he just had a recorder going, and I think there was high heels with it too, and then you could just hear a person humming as if someone was just walking down the hallway, passing by, minding their own little business.
Oh wow. And then the craziest thing, and I'll let Mike go, but the last thing I wanted to say about Waverly is I told you about the story about how I got scared about the bats, and I was screaming, and I thought it was a shadow figure. So later on I go back there, and I go to the nurses station, and I do an EVP session, and my question was, that thing that I just saw, was it human or inhuman? So I played back the recorder, and before I even said the question, it said bat. And then after the question was over, it said bat, like, you idiot. It was a bat, like sort of like mocking me. It was pretty wild.
I love that.
Definitely want to go back there though.
Yeah.
If you go there for the 7th time, please invite us.
We'll see. I don't know what's happening. I was in talks with stuff for like to help them out with stuff, so we'll see. I don't know.
They were in some type of trouble. Like there was someone that wanted to take over the building and turn it into like a resort or like a golf course, something like that.
I don't know.
No.
I tried staying out of all that nonsense. If it doesn't
Yeah.
involve me, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Smart.
But the thing is,
Very
for me,
smart.
it's a shame because like we get a lot of places that like we had the Belglade Correctional Facility.
Okay.
It's by Lake Okeechobee, if everyone's familiar with Florida, like west of West Palm Beach, like in the middle. And there's this abandoned prison. It's been abandoned for like 7 years. It was built, I think, in the late 1920s, and it got demolished. And I swear on my life, that is the most haunted place I've ever investigated. I like when I went to Waverly, like I was thinking to myself, okay, so I want to see how Waverly compares to Belglade Correctional Facility, and I'm like, still like, we saw some wild things, but a lot of things down here is like they don't like to preserve it. I mean, and even like I don't know, even like old historical places that are part of history, they like to
They just
tear
like,
it
they look at the
down
money sign, the dollar signs, like, oh,
and
this
build
is
a
valuable
condo, high-rise
property.
condo.
That's honestly New York State too, because I know my friends were trying to get a whole
How'd you
prison
know?
complex. So like they had a really great plan lined up. They went to a couple meetings. They were like meeting with senators and stuff, and New York's just dragging their feet on it because they probably don't like, they don't want it. Like, and then I know another place in Albany just burned to the ground like right before it was supposed to go to public auction. So I think that it was a little sus. So yeah, like New York State is in the same boat. They say they want to like protect all these places, but they're just leaving them to rot. And it like the best case, like the best example I can give is the Saratoga County Homestead. This place is pretty big. It's gorgeous. It held a lot of history, but then once the state pretty much closed it down as a nursing home because they didn't have a need for it, it just sat abandoned. And then people kind of promised all this stuff that they would do this and that with it and never followed through. And now it breaks my heart, but I don't know how much time we actually have left with the building. And then that's the like the hardest part.
I noticed that I was just up in New York not long ago, and they had the Hudson Valley mental health facility. Is huge, and they were in the process of tearing it down.
Yep.
And I flew my drone all through it, like inside and outside of the building and all over. But yeah, you couldn't even get to it. They were in the middle of knocking it down, so it was a shame.
Yeah, they were actually just bulldozing someplace in Albany. I think it was the Ann Lee, which was a psychiatric hospital, if I'm not mistaken. So like my friends went to go pick up my other friends from the airport, and they were literally watching like bulldozers just go into it. It was like the saddest. It was the saddest thing.
Well,
and like it was still in good shape too.
Yeah. Well, there's also another correctional facility down here that they tore down, the Broward Women's Correctional Facility, and the most famous inmate there was Eileen Wuornos. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Monster.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, she was locked up there, and then they transported her up north to be executed. But that's another haunted place. I heard my first disembodied voice there. So they tore it down, and they built warehouses right next to it. But behind the warehouses, there's still like a field of rubble from the prison. And Mike and I and a couple other guys, we went there, set up a table, and started investigating right there in the rubble. And I got a Class A EVP, like clear as day, of a woman's voice saying, "Someone please help me." And there's nobody out there. And we're in the middle of the field.
Actually, I was talking to Bill Slevin, and he actually uses it, our EVP, in one of his
lectures.
One of his lectures. And that was on the, at the property when there was nothing there. So I'm a firm believer that the land itself also holds a lot of the activity energy from,
the souls that were like trapped there before, now they're probably even lost even more because they don't even know what the heck this place is. It's just a bunch of like, just a field with like,
it's either that or it's just all residual.
Yeah, it could be residual.
And it still holds it.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. Something traumatic could happen to this woman, and it's just echoing over and over again.
Or if you want to get into it, this is one of my favorite theories and rabbit holes to go down. The whole timeline thing. what if timelines don't exist and these paranormal experiences we're having are just timelines just crossing for a blip little minute. So like
Oh,
And
the
I
I,
person,
believe that.
I'm a firm,
like the
I'm a firm
person
believer.
I saw like at Waverly, like everything was just right for a quick glance of that. Or my like, I love this example. We were at the Indiana State Sanatorium. We were there pretty much almost 10 years exactly to when it shut down. Like this was like right when it first opened. It was myself and like 6 other people. We were sitting up on the stairs. We were about to do an EVP session, and then we saw these 2 flashlights, clear as day, just shine on the wall as if someone was coming in from the hallway. So we're like, oh, we'll just wait for them to come in, see if they want to join us and everything. I even made a joke because the TikTok sound, like the "Here comes the boy" was around. So I was like, "Here comes the light," and then like no one showed up. Like the lights just went away as if they like moved away. And 2 people actually ran out into the hallway out of both doorways behind the staircase we were all sitting on. No one was in the hallway. No one was across the room in the chapel or the other room. Like there was not a single sound. And we all kind of sat there like, what the hell just happened? And going back to that theory is like, well, what if we're the ghost in the sense? Because 2 days prior to that experience, me and my friend Addie were stuck in that same threshold because of bats. So what if those flashlights we were seeing were our flashlights from 2 days ago?
Yeah, that blows your mind away, right?
It is one of my favorite rabbit holes to go down. You have to be prepared because then you just start thinking back of all your paranormal experiences. Like going back to Waverly, the second night we were there last year, we ended up just scaring each other. My friend has this like vintage muumuu, and she has really, really long dark hair. So when she has it on, she looks like Samara from The Ring. It is the most terrifying sight. So picture that in Waverly Hills, just in the middle of
with
the night.
Mike wearing it.
Yeah.
Like
I would rock that.
Yeah, you would.
We had our friends come
be
down.
running.
Like we like planned it out and everything, and he got the absolute crap scared out of him. So it's like, what if the lady in white that is said to be at Waverly was just Deanna in another like time cross? It's just a fun little rabbit hole to go down and like to like think about.
See, I like to think about it like this too sometimes, because that's the thing is, me and Eric say this all the time, right? There's really no expert until you're dead. Then maybe you could be an expert, but while you're here on this plane, there is no expert. There's only theories, right? So as of right now, but I always think, what about like parallel dimensions, like, or dimensional, like maybe the people didn't die yet in that other dimension. They're still living their life, and we're communicating and capturing stuff of, because
maybe we're dead.
Yeah.
What if we're the ghost to them?
Exactly.
Like, could you imagine if like
there's a movie about that?
One like the nurse is just doing her rounds, and then all of a sudden they just see like this weird little gremlin person, like with a big book bag on and flashlights, like with random devices. They're probably like, what is that? Like, we're the ghost to them. Like, we're their
they
ghost
hear
stories.
A disembodied voice, but it's us asking questions, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh, there's
well,
so many ways this can spin up.
Oh yeah, like how many people have you heard like, hey, I got a recording of so and so talking and it wasn't them, like it was mimicking their voice?
Yes, the Others movie. I saw it in the comments. That's one of my favorite movies. I was actually just thinking about it the other day, so it's funny it popped up.
Oh yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, like parallel dimensions or dimensional. Like there's so many things it could be. We don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, exactly. I watch a lot of near-death experience videos.
Yeah, that's pretty wild stuff, man. That's a whole nother thing, And then the other thing that's really interesting and is that this is an actual reports from a lot of nurses, is that like when people are getting ready to pass in a hospital, that they see their family members standing around them. And some nurses or doctors will play it off like, oh, it's the drugs, it's the they're on so many drugs or this and that. But to have such a collective experience between so many people that when they're getting ready to pass, that they see their family members standing in the room, right? That's one of those theories that their family members kind of help them guide them off to the light, right? So that's very interesting as well. And like those, like Eric was saying with the near death experiences, they're all so very similar. And there's some of the times that they can report things that they saw from outside of their body during that timeline when they were clinically deceased. So very interesting
Isn't there
stuff.
like a Netflix documentary about it?
I was just going to say that there's a doctor that studies all this, and like they go and talk to people that are in hospice, and they've been doing like, do a study on it. And this one doctor was saying that like it's very typical that within 30 days before, no, 30 days, not 30 days, 30 minutes before someone passes, that they'll see like a loved one, like a relative, a mother or father, like, like welcoming them to come to the other side, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, very wild.
We're at that halfway mark, right?
Yes, we are. It's good.
We got to pay some bills. We got to pay the bills.
So we got a little clip here from our sponsor, the Ghost Hunter Store, and we're going to roll that real quick.
What's up, my paranormal peeps? I'm Eric Vanderlaan, and I'm the host of War Party Paranormal Radio, and also the team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And we got an exciting announcement to let you guys know tonight, and it involves stuff like this, and my co-host is going to tell you all about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Del Coro with War Party, obviously. We are a technical team, and we always have people ask us, where can we get equipment like this? Well, you can get it from the ghosthunterstore.com. We got a nice little sponsorship worked out with them. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned. Very, very cool, and go check them out at theghosthunterstore.com.
Peace.
All right. So
Tell them the code.
The code? Ghost Gone Wild.
That's right.
You can use this, Courtney, if you want to buy a piece of equipment there, 10% off.
Oh, I mean, look at that stuff.
It varies. It varies on the purchase. So it depends on what you're purchasing. But if you put in the code, the Ghost Gone Wild, at the promo code at the end when you're cashing out at the shopping cart, you'll get a discount on some of the equipment.
Love that. But I will say I am like one of the investigators that like really don't use equipment. It kind of like blows everyone's mind, but like I grew up like loving the ghost shows and stuff, so I'm used to like the bare minimum. But I also just like to like have a place show itself to me, and just see what.
You're more
happen.
About the experience. And
Yeah. Like, I mean, the equipment's cool and all. Like, don't get me wrong, I love when it comes out, but like, I also carry around a 25-pound book bag all the time, and I think the only things I take out are like the stuff for the Estes method.
I think they have book bags.
Yeah, and that's another thing too about the store as well, is they sell metaphysical stuff, religious items, all kinds of different things. So it's a neat,
love that.
Neat browse. Yeah.
Sure. And
I'll
Dave Giuliani.
Yep,
Dave Giuliani. He's running that event at White Hill Mansion on April 12th. We're gonna be special guests there, along with Katrina Weidman. Did I pronounce her name right? From Portals to Hell, Paranormal Lockdown. So we're gonna be investigating the place. So I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So, yep. And we got another commercial. And if you're out investigating and it's really hot and you got to hydrate yourself, because like maybe drink water or whatever, but we have an alternative to that. And Mike, you're going to play that?
Let's do it.
What's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease. So hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation. with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/war party for their special offer that includes free shipping. Fuel Up for life. Hey, Eric, how do we do?
It's awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if commercials is our thing.
True that.
Always makes me laugh.
It's very tasty, by the way.
It is. It's good stuff.
Yep. And my son works out. He drinks it all the time, so he loves it. So
Perfect.
go get yourself some.
And then we just got two more little things, and then we'll get right back to it. So if you guys don't know, Eric and I have a new series on Paraflix called The Haunted Files, and we'd love for you guys to go check it out. We've been working hard on it. We've been getting out there and trying.
We got an amazing giveaway coming up too, but we're gonna keep that a secret. You have to tune in next week.
We're going to be doing something cool with that. And Eric and I have been getting out there and trying different things and different methods and different locations and be capturing some phenomenal evidence. So we'd really love for you guys to come check it out. It's called The Haunted Files. It's on Paraflix. It's a streaming platform. And if you enter the code, The Haunted Files 25, all one word, you get a 25% discount off the annual subscription. It comes out to like $30 at the end of the day. So very affordable, and come support us. Check it out. This is
quick
our
shout out though. Patty and Degree for winning that award, Best Medium. So gotta throw that out.
Yeah, Best Hollywood Medium. Absolutely. Big
so
shout out to Patty. She's a good friend of ours, and that's amazing.
She deserves it too.
Yes, she does. So I'm gonna play this little trailer for our upcoming episode coming out this month. We'll give you more dates when we have the exact date, but it is coming out this month. And here we go.
Welcome to the old jail, y'all. Now you can't leave.
Check it out.
Awesome. So yeah, definitely come check us out. We'd really appreciate it, guys. Been putting in a lot of work there. So
I also want to give a shout out to the new people in the chat. Thank you for coming on, and welcome, and come to more. You always have amazing guests like Courtney. So, and tell all your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and like.
Absolutely. Thank you. We do appreciate it.
Yes, we do. And it helps us a lot. And go like and love Courtney stuff as well.
Absolutely. She has her tag there for Instagram at the Ghoul Guide for any of our audio listeners. If you want to check out her stuff, she has some amazing photos and reels and different stuff from all the different locations she's been at. So really
She'll
good
give
stuff.
you more info later on the show.
Yes. So out of like, so that's awesome, by the way, that, you know, you like to go with minimum equipment and really, you know, experience the place. And I feel that's really cool, because it's hard sometimes when you have a lot of devices and stuff. You're focusing on all the stuff, and you're forgetting sometimes to actually experience the surroundings and the location.
That's how I started.
Yeah. I mean, there's a place out in Madison, Ohio that kind of, you know, like helped me like realize this, because it was myself and two other friends. We were just hanging out in the space. We weren't even investigating. And we come to realize that like when you're not even investigating, you're just kind of like hanging out and just doing your own thing, or just like openly talking. That's when a lot of stuff will happen.
Exactly.
So we were like playing checkers the one day, and you know, we were waiting for our friends to come. We were just hanging out, and down the hallway, or well, actually her husband was just rolling around in a wheelchair getting B-roll, and he caught a disembodied voice of like someone breathing or saying something on his phone. Like he wasn't even trying to catch anything. And that's what made us like stop. And like when he replayed it, we kind of like snapped our head back. We're like, wait, what? So like kind of like just doing that and then seeing like what you get off of it and just I don't know. It's just a really cool experience. And then it kind of like helps you remember the place. And I don't know, but I'm also a person who goes to these places multiple times, so I kind of just like play with my ways of investigating each time. Like, oh, like we'll go minimum equipment this time and like not really do much, and like, or this time we'll like really hit it and like not stop until 4 a.m. or like maybe this time we'll just sit around and do the Estes method. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Eric,
good that you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Eric and I kind of learned the same thing through experience of doing that. And sometimes what we'll do is like, if we're just BSing or we're moving, picking up or doing whatever, sometimes we'll throw a recorder on just kind of while we're talking and then play it back. And sometimes we'll capture things, why we least expect it.
Yeah.
It's also awesome that you said that, because when I got into this, I was a skeptic. I just wanted to see if it was real. And then as I got into it, I started getting equipment. Then I started focusing on the equipment. What am I going to do? How am I going to set it up? Blah, blah, blah. And nothing would ever happen. And then when I got with the War Party, we have a very eclectic group of people. They were telling me, you should just like go into a place, just open up your mind, don't take any equipment, feel out the vibe. So like the more I started doing that, more things started happening. The more like I started become open with the place, to the point where like I can even like have my name called out on command sometimes at some locations. So I think, sometimes just like keeping your mind open, feeling the vibe, trying to experience what's going on there is like the best thing.
Yeah, and like I also kind of like put myself in their shoes as much as you can.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If I was a ghost, like I always say this, like if I was a ghost, I would sit around and try to listen to all the gossip. Like I would pick on people who like were like the macho type, like like just like that stuff. And like if I was a ghost and I was seeing all these people just come into the room with all this equipment, like it's not gonna hurt you. And it's just like, but you have like a whole rig of just like lights and all this stuff. It's just like I'd be like, all right, like I'll see what you guys are doing later.
Especially when you're like in an asylum where like they did experiments and stuff like that. They're like, oh my God, what are they going to do to us?
Right? So it's kind of like you have to build a little bit of trust, and you kind of just like you said, you just have to let yourself open and be comfortable with the space. And it sucks to do it sometimes, because I tell a lot of people that this is the most boring thing you could possibly do, because the paranormal doesn't do anything on command. So like
we just sit there in the dark and like talk to nobody.
Exactly. And like that's like, I know, like I don't want to go on a tangent, but like that's like when the whole drama thing comes into play. It's like you guys realize that we're sitting in dirty, dusty buildings, hoping that the air talks back to us sometimes. Like, like come on, like this is like one of the most boring things you can do. But like when that activity happens, or like when you hear stuff, like that's some of the most exciting things.
You're like,
yeah, and that's one of my favorite ways to investigate, but yet it's so difficult to do.
Especially like if you can't sit still, it is the worst.
Yeah. I love to like go somewhere very, very quiet, very, very spooky, and sit there by myself and live listen. But it's very hard because when you're, it's not like you're going to these places by yourself. So there, it's you have to be somewhere very quiet to do that. And that's rare.
Yeah. I mean, I do have this piece of equipment that I've been really enjoying. They're called Lucid headphones. I think they were like liquidated or something. I don't know if they're still around, but I don't even know who made them. They're just called Lucid headphones, and they basically just amplify the sound around you. So instead of noise canceling headphones, they're just noise amplifying headphones. And we'll put them on and we'll just sit in rooms. Like I think we all have a pair at this point, like all 5 of us that like really
I've used them
together. They're really cool. We had it on
turn into DR60. They're gonna go up to like $5,000.
We had them on at Madison, and like you can hear, we heard people like running up on the floor above us, and like no one was there. So you hear the little pitter patter. It was like, the spy headphones.
Kelly had a pair at the Shanley Hotel, and You know what else you can do that does that same thing that you could still buy today is their hunting headphones. I have them for when I used to shoot, and each one has a microphone and a speaker, and you can turn them up, and they're noise isolation because if you're shooting or hunting. So they're noise isolation, so you can't hear any like other than what's coming through the speaker and into the. So yeah, very cool. The only thing
we're
I
not
didn't,
using that, Mike.
I was going to say that is probably going to be my next purchase. My Amazon's going to be like, what
I
are
have
you
a
doing?
pair. I have a pair. They're made by Midway, you know, the hunting company. But if you look at them, hunting headphones with mic. But here's the reason why I don't use them is because I want to be able to record what I capture.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just take my Zoom and plug it into a pair of Big Fourths and listen to it that way. Therefore, I could at least record it. But for anybody that doesn't want to do that, those are the same kind of headphones. They do the exact same thing. They're noise isolation, and then they have speakers and stuff on them, and you can crank them way up, and they're awesome. Because I used to shoot competition, and you would want to talk to the people next to you, but everybody's got noise isolation headphones on. So we started buying these, and you can still have a regular conversation, but it cancels out the concussion from shots.
Love that. That might be something to look into. Amazon's going to be like, what are you looking at?
But you like doing the sensory deprivation, right?
I do. That is like something that I've kind of, I don't want to say like known for, like in the haunted nights, like in like the events that we do and stuff. I'm always the one to go under. I kind of like,
Delco experiment. Have you heard of our Delco experiment?
I don't think so. What is it?
Mike, tell her.
Really?
She would love this.
So it's basically a cross between the Gansfeld experiment and the Estes method. So you're wearing red lights over your eyes while you're doing the Estes method. And I created a pair of goggles. And it's really giving us some outstanding evidence. People are seeing stuff, feeling stuff. Like it's Patty Negree tried it, and she was seeing faces coming in and out, and like just like melting walls and just craziness. It's a really neat thing. There's a lot of stuff on my YouTube about it, or if you search anywhere like Delco experiment, it's really neat stuff. I have a pair that I'm working on here that aren't finished yet. There's still wires hanging off of them, but basically they're EL panels, electroluminescent panels, so you can't see through them, but they light up red, and you keep your eyes open, and basically like doing the Estes method with your eyes open, staring into these lights. And it just really amplifies I'm going to drop them. It really amplifies the session. It's really neat.
I'll have to check that out.
Absolutely. Yeah, please do. Cause it's wild. And, the evidence that other teams are reporting as well is it's really mind blowing to see.
I can show you a quick clip of it if you want to see.
Yeah,
like
sure.
1 minute clip. This is with another paranormal investigator, Bigfoot Stacy. He's with Outcast Paranormal. But I'm going to upload this real quick.
Or you can play it through the presentation side.
Oh, that's true.
It's faster.
Let's try that. Everyone's real quiet.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Share screen.
Let's go. This sounds so interesting. I will say that.
All right, here we go. Dueling Delcos. Actually, here we had Bigfoot Stacy. I'm gonna set the scene real quick. So we're in this haunted restaurant. It's like sort of like a music venue. They have like people play live music and stuff like that. It's called The Warrior. It's supposed to be super haunted. It's right on the river. So Bigfoot Stacy that you see here is down by the river, and then we have someone at the bar. I believe it was Chaz of Dead. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he was doing it, and it was pretty crazy. Like some of the stuff we were getting. So let's see if this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to play it here. This is better. There we go. Let me take this down. How do you take this down? Stop screen. Okay, here we go.
Earpiece?
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta try to put you in a little trance for a little bit.
Okay.
And he's gonna tap you on the knee when we get started.
Right on.
I'm gonna hand you the spirit box after you put those on.
Don't fight it.
Okay.
Go with it.
Stacy, can you hear me?
What are we doing? Because RPGs just wander in the parking lot outside instead of coming in, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also heard Rich.
Yep.
Does Chaz have the goggles on?
Does Chaz have the goggles on?
Goggles on, he's hearing static at the moment.
Holy shit. Holy shit. That was clear as day.
I'm not video. Hold on. I'm gonna start recording right now. Go.
That was clear. That was not static at all.
Oh, just heard my name.
That was the wrong video, but it was actually EVP. So I'll let it run. But
it's so cool.
Yeah, so-
I can see where you guys were trying to go with it.
yeah, so basically we put them like for the first 20 minutes, we don't ask any questions. You just try to get like into like a trance,
baseline
like
type
a
of thing?
meditation. Yeah. And then we start it. So usually when we do it, while that person is in that, 20-minute trance or meditation, we're doing EVP sessions to see what we're getting in the meantime. So that's what we were getting there. And that was, holy shit, that's pretty wild. Mike, you were going to show some?
Yeah, I'm looking for it. You guys can just chat for a minute.
So yeah, if you like sensory deprivation, it's really cool experiment. It just like enhances everything. I'm not sensitive, but like the things that I've experienced while I was on it is more like I don't know, like getting touched. Like I felt like a cold hand behind my neck, like someone placed a cold hand. And it was weird because I remember I was just watching a video on Patty Negree, and she was saying that like your back of your neck is the most sensitive spot. And so I thought that was weird that happened. I felt like a cool breeze, and it's hot and humid outside. There's no breeze whatsoever. Felt footsteps several times. And then some people like see visuals and stuff like that. And some people get like touch or feely type things.
Yeah, I've had that happen with the just regular doing like the Esta session. There's only been, because sometimes like when I take the headphones off, I don't remember anything that is said, and then there are some times where I remember like some key phrases that have like scared the actual crap out of me. There was one in Indiana. I was sitting outside of like an old patient room in like one of the nursing wings, and I felt like I was like kind of like getting relaxed and into a trance and just getting kind of lost in the white noise, and it felt like I was just watching. I couldn't really see anything, but it just felt like a hospital day was passing me by, like the normal chaos. Like you could feel like what felt like a med cart rumble by, like you were just feeling the breezes. And at one point, like all the static in my left ear went out, and you just heard like a little old lady go, I'm sorry, are you new here? And I was just like, excuse me?
Oh wow.
I was like, yeah, I'm new here, but like that took me by surprise. And then there was also one that I had at Wilson Castle, which is like an old.
Can you hold that thought one moment?
Yeah,
I hate to interrupt,
course.
but we're at that point now. This is like a compliant thing that we have to do, but we're at that point where the KGRA listeners that are listening right now, they're going on to the next show. So any of you listeners that are on KGRA that want to continue and listen, you can hop on to our War Party Paranormal YouTube page, and you can watch and listen to us there. And for those of you that are on the YouTube and Facebook that are watching, go check out KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. They got some amazing shows. They got shows on MUFON, UFOs, on cryptids, paranormal like us, and some famous people as well. They have the MUFON. They have Bishop Long. He was featured on Ghost Adventures. So just want to let everyone know that. And now we can continue.
Yay!
Sorry.
There's this place called Wilson Castle out in Proctor, Vermont. It's this gorgeous residence. It's probably one of my favorite places to go to just to like kind of hang out. And out of nowhere, we were there for an event and I was in the session, and kind of out of nowhere, all I heard was the only thing I can like equate to like this scream voice, like the voice changer box, come through the headphone, and it goes, "Wake up, this is a nightmare." And I was just like,
Oh wow.
like I like froze for a second, and then I said it out loud, and I think everyone around me could kind of be like, something's going on. And at one point, like I tried to keep going with it, but like everyone could tell that I was like still a little razzled by that. And probably like a minute went by and I just took the headphones. I'm like, we need to talk about this. And then later on that night, the voice came back. This is like the one and only time like I really heard this voice. It came back when we were upstairs in like this old like turret room. I call it the seance room just because it kind of like has those vibes. And we were sitting there and I don't know what it said, but I remember being like, oh no, the voice is back. And like people were like picking up on my anxiety as I was like trying to like just sit there and be normal. And at one point I was like, oh my God, like the voice is back. I don't know what to do. And all I heard in the headphones was relax. And I was like, I'm trying. But yeah, like those are
No, that's really cool.
moments.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We get a lot
think,
of stuff that ties to the history, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Estes method is fantastic, and
it's really fun to do. And what I did at Waverly recently was we walked past Lois's room, and I was the only one to like hear a knock on the door as we walked past, and I was like, maybe we should do a session in there because I didn't do anything I didn't do a session all night, so I was like, let's try it. And we were probably in there for a good like 5 minutes, and at one point I was like, what would happen if we just walked around? Like I just kept the headphones on and we just walked around the building like this. Like I can't hear anything. You guys just have to guide me. I didn't have a blindfold on. We were going to do that experiment the next night where someone led me around blindfolded, but we didn't get to it. But doing the Estes and just walking around with the headphones on with the spirit box going, as I was passing rooms, it sounded like you were picking up on like the little chatter that you would hear as you walk by. And then at one point, I think we were on the 4th floor and it was just like, go to every room. So like we had to go down and walk the entire floor. But like nothing like really like cool came out of it. It was just kind of cool to like have like to kind of be wandering around with it and not really like knowing what's happening, but like hearing all this like little chatter.
Yeah.
So I actually found one of the clips I wanted to show you. This was at a bar, at the local bar that used to be a jail, and Joe, one of our investigators, was doing the Delco there.
The Angry Warthog.
Yeah, the Angry Warthog, which we're going to be going back to hopefully here soon. It's going to take me 2 seconds here.
You're okay.
So,
Smelling like incense.
Yeah, I smell it. Yeah. So we're gonna say goodbye. We respect you, and we want to let you know
That's not a cigarette.
that you have to stay here. You cannot follow any of us home. You cannot follow us outside of this building. That you remain here. This is where you live now. You do not have.
That's what I hate about being dead.
wow.
Whoa. I know it sucks, but this is where you live. Do you need help? Do you need help moving on? Do you want to be here?
Joe, are you coming back here?
Yeah, we'll be back. Joe will be back.
It could be anybody.
We're going to come back. That's Joe.
I think they should go to the bathroom.
The bathroom was actually the cell.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I said,
interesting.
Yeah, and I said, we're gonna get out of here. You can't stay. And he goes, that's what I hate about being dead.
Yeah. If I heard that, I'd be like, oof, that's a little creepy.
Yeah, it was super, super wild. So
I'm definitely gonna have to try it because I've always wanted to do like the Gansfield experiment, like with the ping pong balls and all that
Mhm.
stuff. But I have to like psych myself up for it because
Yeah,
I
so
feel
you
like
could-
in my head a lot. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, nah,
So you could
like,
use
it's
these
gonna be
for that
alright.
as well. You just don't listen to a spirit box, you listen to white noise. This basically replaces the ping pong balls. So
Love
because I
that.
wanted to make something that you could bring out into the field
Mhm.
that's battery powered, that you didn't have to bring like a light and ping pong balls and tape. You just throw these on, you turn the switch on, and you're good to go.
Love
So
that.
And I don't remember if Mike said it, but it can get pretty trippy because you can set it up to strobe, to flash.
Oh,
But it's weird. If it's just lit, you get your best experience that way. For some reason.
gotcha.
I've tried
Yeah,
it
I'd
different
say
ways.
I feel like the strobes and all that would just send someone into a seizure.
right, yeah, it
Yeah,
could be.
there's going to be a disclaimer on those things.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, like we've gotten some like wild things. Like we did a live investigation at that same bar, and Joe was doing that experiment. And a few years back, we had Hurricane Irma, who knocked
Okay.
down some power
That was
lines.
the same night, I think.
Was it the same night?
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. So there was a boy after the hurricane was walking through the puddles, and one of the down power lines was in the puddle, and the boy got electrocuted to death and died like right across the street from the bar. So Joe was talking about stuff that was pertaining to that, and I even believe he said the boy's name. And we also had someone that was watching the live that lives in the neighborhood that was friends, like that boy was a childhood friend of this person. So that was pretty wild. And actually it gave her some sort of comfort knowing that he's like doing okay now.
Well,
So like it got pretty emotional. It was like
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. Like, you know, to have somebody real time that was watching it live, like jump in and be like, I know that person. Like that was I grew up with that person. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. That's so cool though.
Yep. So yeah, what we'll have to do is we're gonna have to do like a collaboratory investigation, and we'll bring some goggles.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm always down for something. I'm always down for it. I really want to like start doing like some new stuff and like just kind of like throwing myself out there. Each year I tell myself I'm going to be a little bit braver, and I feel like I am, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you like asylums; those are the places that you go to. So you got to be pretty brave, right?
I do like asylums. I love sanatoriums. Jails are like the one place that like really kind of freak me out. Like no matter what, just don't do it. I just know. Oh, I know.
They got
it's been on my list for years. I remember being a child watching Ghost Hunters when they caught the person looking over the railing. Yeah, I remember that. I remember watching that episode so vividly, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, like this is what you're doing with your life in some fashion. Like you got to do this.
I was there a year ago, and we got more activity in the keeper's house in the basement. We were seeing shadow figures, the REM pod and the motion. The coffin box were going off at the same time. I wish I would have spent more time in the lighthouse, but yeah, that place is super haunted.
Yeah. I think we were trying to do haunted nights events down there, but it just didn't work out. So here's to hoping I can get down there at some point, because Florida has a lot of spots I kind of want to see.
Yeah, we
just
can always
like down in that region.
Yeah, we can always do like a group investigation and rent the place out for the night. Split up the cost.
Let's do it.
Yeah. For sure.
It'll be fun.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
So we're getting towards the end of the night, end of the show. Courtney, why don't you let the people here know where they can find you, any upcoming things that you want to mention?
Awesome. So you can find me all on Instagram's like my main little spot that I like to hang out on. I'm kind of branching over to TikTok a little bit. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, and I've kind of soft launching a YouTube that's just been like hush hush, that I've been like uploading my reels onto shorts and stuff. So I do have a YouTube. It's the same handle as everything else. So if you want to follow and sub over there, go for it. I have some ideas in the works. I might be collabing on some channels. who knows what the future has to hold. I'm kind of
nice.
just taking this like all like day by day. So there's that. If you want to check out the Haunted Magazine or the Feminine Macabre books that I'm in, if you go on any of my link, like the link in bios on any of my platforms, there's links to everything. I also have merch. If you guys want merch, I do everything through Instagram right now.
I like that hoodie that you wear.
Yeah, I have my own Ghoul
There you
Guide
go.
hoodie.
Cool.
I have this. I sell Polaroids, so I do this like cool little Polaroid experiment.
I've seen those. Very cool.
Yeah, so I take a whole bunch of Polaroids at locations that I go to, and I either sell some of them on Instagram. I also bring them to conventions and cons that I go to. And I also do this thing where I leave them around. So if you ever spot one, I have a card that goes with it to tell you like where I hit it, what day I hit it, and how many.
So I could have found one at Waverly. You didn't tell me this. I would have been looking all night.
Oh my God. I think I hid 7 at Waverly like 2 weeks ago, and I know 1 was found. So I don't know how many.
That's such a good idea. I like that.
Yeah. So like, I've been hiding them
like
all
that.
over Crescent. I won't do the Homestead. That place is. I just don't want people going to the Homestead. That's my little baby.
Mike's gonna leave Delco goggles.
Yeah.
Do it. But yeah. So I have that. I have merch. And I'm also gonna be vending at Fairfield County Infirmary Con or FCI Con and MadCon, which is at Madison Seminary. I haven't really announced those yet. So you guys are hearing it here first. And if you guys are in Buffalo, I will be vending the Oddity and Curiosities Expo that'll be there for this weekend. So not this weekend, in August. So
we got to introduce you to table tipping.
Oh yeah.
Someone that does that. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, Tim Shaw, who is a medium, he was on like Portals to Hell and stuff. He is from Buffalo, and he actually does table tipping classes. But nothing has lined up for me to actually go to them. And we also have Lilydale around me because I'm in Western New York. So we have Lilydale probably about like 45 minutes away from me, which is like a huge psychic community. So that's super cool. And I think they do like group readings and like group sessions there. But yeah. No, I kind of want to do like automatic writing. I just want to see if anything will come out of it. That's like been I have a lot of friends who are like into Ouija boards and like they collect them and stuff. And
I see people using that. Was that that Scrabble? Was it called with the square thing with the magnets? And
the erase. Yeah,
I forget what that's called.
Etch a Sketch.
Etch a Sketch. Yep, I see people whipping that out on investigations.
Oh my God, I would love it. But yeah, like I think automatic writing would be pretty cool. I think that's kind of like up my alley.
Yeah, for sure. We got a lady that's sensitive on our team. And she can channel her energy to move this table. It's wild. Like people who are listening right now think I'm crazy. Like, oh, come on, really? If you're there, it'll blow your mind away. It's unbelievable.
I mean, just the other day, it was the 175th birthday of modern day spiritualism. So now's the time to do it.
You got to visit Casadega. It's the spiritualist capital of the world.
Yeah, that's where Lilydale is.
Oh, okay.
It's about like 45 minutes away from me.
Okay. Awesome.
And then the Fox sisters, they're just outside of Rochester. So Rochester's like the next like big town or big city that we have. So that they're about like, so I'm like smack dab in the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
I didn't live when I was younger. I didn't live too far away from you. I lived in Mentor, Ohio.
Oh yeah, I drive past it all the time.
Yeah, we used to go to like Buffalo, Niagara Falls, and things like that.
Another thing I've just learned about Eric that I've never known, and I'm telling you, he's very, very elusive, very mysterious fella.
I mean,
I'll tell you about my days in Memphis, Tennessee. That's another one.
I don't know. I will say, like, I kind of thought about moving to Ohio just because I have to drive through it all the time. And like, I've been east to west, top to bottom. I hate it. I hate driving through it. It's so big. And at one point I was like, I should just move here. Like just to cut all the drive times in half.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, I drive through. I was actually just driving through it the other day. I think last week when I was coming home.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I always wanted to visit the Ohio State Infirmary.
Oh yeah, I did. I've never investigated there. I've only did a couple day tours because you can just you can get like a self-guided tour and you can get like an audio wand or something, and then you just kind of like mosey around at your own pace. I call it my road trip to Kentucky, like the first trip I ever did to Waverly, because I stopped at Madison. So that was like my first stop, and then like 2 hours away in like the middle of Ohio was the reformatory. So I spent like almost like 2.5 hours there just wandering around, taking pictures, doing whatever I wanted. And then I ended up just driving the rest of the way down to Kentucky. And then on the way home, I stopped. We did the investigation at Waverly, got out at 4. I think I went to bed around like 6, 7 in the morning.
Yeah, we did
like
that.
After we like packed up everything, had to be out at like 9 o'clock because I had to get to Bobby Mackey's for 11 in the morning.
Well, it's funny that you say that because when I went to Waverly, I drove up. It was a road trip. So we were at Waverly, and like you said, we left there like what, at 6 in the morning. Went back to the hotel, slept for an hour, and then I drove down south to South Pittsburgh Hospital in Tennessee. Investigated that the next day.
Yeah, I think I actually might be going to Tennessee this year. So
I investigated during the day. I think it was like you pay $60 for 4 hours, and it was crazy active. I guess
love that. I know. I think we have Old South Pittsburgh booked and Harriman Hospital booked. I really want to go to Harriman Hospital. I've been seeing all the pictures come out of that place. I love newly abandoned things because I like the eeriness that it puts off. How you know, like how you walk onto like a hospital floor and like everything is still there, but like where are the people? Like that was kind of like cool about like Indiana State because you walk into Indiana State and it looks like everyone just kind of like locked up for the day 10 years ago and just never came back.
It's like apocalyptic.
I love that.
Yeah. So like I remember walking around Indiana State and there were still medical like dietary restrictions hanging out behind the food line.
Oh, wow.
You go through like the little cafeteria and at each table there were trays with a cup and a bowl as if they were setting
like everyone
it up for the next
disappeared in
day.
a split moment.
It
the
was
night of the comet.
crazy.
That's how
like,
Belglade was. Yeah,
yes,
stretchers like all over the place.
It's the craziest feeling.
Beds.
Like it's just so unsettling, but I love it. And I know and everyone
it's so
keeps saying
creepy.
that's how Harriman is. Harriman's huge. It's just newly abandoned. Like it's not really abandoned. It's just not in operation anymore. But like there's still hospital beds, like the OR light is like still there, like everything's intact, and you're just like, yikes,
even the prison,
this is eerie.
Even the prison guards where their complex was outside of the prison, they still had like all the equipment from a gym, like all the gym equipment to work out. They had desks, they had chairs, they even had paperwork on the prison, just tossed all over the place.
That's how Crescent was. Crescent kind of like you would just walk in and you would actually no, and that's even in Pennsylvania. I could walk into Crescent and you can just see casings. Just I don't know what kind of casings they are. Like they're just gun casings. You can see them all over the place. There's like discharge papers. There's just random paperwork. I think I found a job application one day.
Wow.
I want to say
I found a bunch of papers at Ledgeworth in the hospital. There was
someone's actually giving me a book from there, I think. She said she'd give it to me, but I was like, you are not just giving that to me, so I have to trade her something for it. But because I was like, this is cool. Like I'm not just taking this off your hands.
VHS tapes, cassettes. I should have like kept those.
I know
there was one at Crescent that was like something about managing stress, and I almost took it. I was like, this is hysterical.
Oh, wow. That's funny. That's crazy.
All right, guys. So very cool. And if anybody that's out there that's listening or watching that wants to find any of my own personal content, if you go to my website, it's the easiest way. If you go to flaparanormalresearcher.com, I have links to all my social media, and there's actually a link to buy the Delcos as I've been putting them out there, the Delco goggles, and then some of the upcoming stuff and that we have coming out on Paraflix, The Haunted Files, Eric and I. And also, don't forget to check out www.warpartyparanormal.com for our upcoming events.
Everything's linked there.
Everything is linked there as well. And Eric, where can the good people that are watching and listening find your stuff and you?
Ghost Hunter of South Florida. It's a really long name, but you won't forget it. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, but more importantly, just follow War Party Paranormal. Yeah, we have an event coming up soon, April 21st at the Old Davies Schoolhouse.
We do.
If you're local, come join us. It's a full-on investigation with the equipment and everything. You're a part of it. You witness if something crazy happens. So yeah, come and join us for that one. So that'll be coming up. Also, like Mike said, don't forget Paraflix. We just dropped an episode about a couple of weeks ago, and we're coming out with a new one next week. And we already got a couple more all lined up, so we're going to be rolling them out.
Yeah, good stuff. And also, just real quick to add, the Old Davies Schoolhouse is not the only structure on the property that we investigate. There's actually two historical homes there as well. So there's 3 locations that we alternate through, and you guys can check out. And there's really neat stuff, and they're set up as museums. We capture some really phenomenal evidence. We converted the educational director over from a skeptic, so she's really into it now. It's really a good time, and it's very active. So come check it out, and we'll see you guys.
Wait! I got one more. More important thing. Sorry. Anyway, I want to thank everyone in the chat. There's a lot of new people here. Come and listen to us. We have great guests like Courtney. Courtney, thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thanks for having me.
It was a great show. But I also want everyone to know, if you're local, we don't do this too often, but War Party Paranormal, we're having a meet and greet April 29th. Just if you want to do an RSVP and you want to become a paranormal investigator, doesn't matter if you have experience, doesn't matter if you don't have experience. As long as you are passionate about the paranormal and passionate about helping people, because that's what we do.
And you're a team player.
Help people. Yep, and a team player, and we help people with paranormal problems in their homes or businesses. So we need help with that, and we'll train you for it, and also help at our events, so you get to be a part of our amazing events. And we do team events as well. So just send us a message either through YouTube, Instagram to RSVP. And again, that's April 21st, 7 p.m. And that's going to be at the Riverside Memorial Cemetery, which is super haunted, which is in Jupiter, Florida. Now I'm done.
I think you said the April 21st, which is
April 29th. April 29th. April 21st.
Okay.
April 21st is Old Davy. The week after April 29th is our meet and greet. So come meet us.
Come on out.
Come on out.
All right, guys. Thank you. And we'll be back again next Monday night, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. And thank you. And thank you, Courtney. And thank you, everybody.
Peace.
Have a good night.